So in today's video, guys, we're talking about the Game of the Year Golden Joystick nominations. And I know they've been out for a little while, but I just got to this today. Hence why we're going over it today. And I'm just going to say there are some notable exceptions in some of the lists, or weird things going on with the list, in my opinion. And it kind of makes zero fucking sense. So the first thing we're going to talk about is the fact that there's a console game of the year and a PC game of the year. Now, that's not weird if the console game of the year are console exclusives and the PC game of the year is just like games in general, right, that are on PC, because that kind of makes sense, right? But that's simply not the case. If you look at the list on the console game of the year, there's Monster Hunter Wilds. That is not a uniquely console game. So it really makes no sense. But like the overall short list of console game of the year makes sense to be there because of games like Ghost of Yote, in my opinion. But again, why is Monster Hunter Wilds on the list? And we're gonna get into the console game of the year annoyances later in the video, but I just wanted to bring that up quickly before we hop into the PC game of the year annoyances or grievances I have with it. So the notable exception, okay, my biggest problem with the list, okay, with PC game of the year is there's no Clair Obscur Expedition 33. It comes from the indie studio Sandfall Interactive, and it leads with 6 nominations, including Best Storytelling, Best Visual Design, Best Soundtrack, Best Lead Performer, Best Supporting Performer, and Studio of the Year. Despite it being nominated for 6 nominations, it was omitted from both the PC Game of the Year and the Console Game of the Year categories, both of which it is on and available to buy, which is insane to me. I think there's 12 nominations in total. I could be wrong, give or take two or so. I think that's insane. We're not putting the leading nomination on Game of the Year, on PC Game of the Year. And again, I think it should be on the PC Game of the Year list. But if we're going to make the exception for Monster Hunter Wilds for it being on the Console Game of the Year list and not on the PC Game of the Year list, because it quite frankly wouldn't have made it, due to the simple fact that Monster Hunter Wilds, okay, was not optimized well on PC. That's why it's on the console one. But if we're gonna make that exception for Monster Hunter Wilds, where's Clair Obscur? Again, it's leading 6 nominations. Okay. Also, another grievance I have with PC Game of the Year is where's Hades 2? Hades 2 also has multiple nominations, and the Golden Joystick Awards is up for multiple different awards. I don't think it'll win any of them, but where is it in the PC Game of the Year nomination list? Because again, why even have these other nominations if there's several types, like they're winning several of them, right? Best soundtrack, best visual design, best storytelling, again, best lead performer, best supporting performer, and studio of the year. There's so many there. How could it not possibly be up for also PC Game of the Year? And this is my same quarrel with No Hades 2. It's up for multiple separate nominations. It's not like one person carry the game by themselves single-handedly. They're up for multiple nominations, and they're not even on the PC Game of the Year nomination list, which is insane to me. Okay, and again, this award will mean nothing if we're having AAA bias, which I think I'm going to say there's heavy AAA bias in these lists, and especially heavy AAA bias when it comes to Western studios. Okay, that's all I'm going to say. That's all I'm going to say. Because if I say any more, I feel like this is getting absurd at this point. Okay, Console Game of the Year. Again, I have some problems here. We have Hollow Knight not being on Console Game of the Year. Why is Silksong Hollow Knight not on Console Game of the Year a nomination list? Everybody loved that game. People literally got it on Xbox Game Pass. They already have it on Xbox Game Pass and they love the game so much they bought it again, and it's not even on Console Game of the Year the console game of the year list. Like, what are we doing here? However, in my opinion, these are strange inclusions. They have titles like Sonic Racing, Crossworlds, and Mario Kart World, which I'm going to be completely honest, I don't know why either of these games are on the console game of the year list. And Expedition 33 and Hollow Knight Silksong are not on this list. Okay, sure, Ghost of Yote is on the list, which I'm completely fine with. It looked like a great game, but where is Clair Obscure 33 and where's Hollow Knight Silksong? These are clear indie snubbing. It's clear. It has to be indie snubbing going on, because they clearly do not want indie titles to win a majority of the awards. I'm convinced. I'm convinced at this point that is the case, because who's competing with Ghost of Yote in the console game of the year discussion if it's not Hollow Knight Silksong or Expedition 33? Those games were great, okay? And sure, I think there is Kingdom Come Deliverance 2, and I think that game is great as well, and I'm sure it's going to contend with Ghost of Yote. But again, we need more competition. And where is Expedition 33? Where is Hollow Knight? And the reason why it matters, right? The reason why these awards matter is because they're used as advertising, okay? And parents oftentimes will buy games that have gotten award nominations or have gotten awards, right? I remember when I was a kid, my parents bought me the game of the years because that's what they saw, okay? They saw it got a game of the year nomination, and they were like, well, my son is going to like this game because it got the game of the year nomination, and we know for sure that this game is good, okay? So in my opinion, this matters a lot. And if you're not going to include indie games just because they're indie games, and that is just the case, you cannot argue with this, that is a problem. That is a problem in my opinion. And you're being purposely exclusionary in this list. Again, massive fuck up, by the way. Golden joystick, massive fuck up. Come on, what are we doing here? Moving on to the voice acting section. Again, we're gonna see that this is very Western oriented. I would like to see some more Eastern voice actors getting some credit, getting some praises, especially in the gaming space. Like, for example, why is Konatsu Kato, sorry if I pronounced that wrong, again, Erika Ishii is the voice actor for Valkyrie in Apex Legends, and in my opinion, she does a way better job in Apex Legends than she does in Ghost of Yote from what I've seen, from the clips I've seen. And I'm not saying she did a bad performance, I'm just saying Konatsu Kato is way better. And again, in my opinion, Erika Ishii is not better than her Japanese counterpart in the game she's playing the voice actor in. So like for example, she's the main girl's voice actor, the main character's voice actor, okay? But in my opinion, the Japanese voice actor is better, okay, than Erika Ishii. And you might just be saying, well, you're just saying that because you don't like dub voice actors. That is not true. And first of all, Ghost of Yote was originally made, I believe, in English. So that is just wrong. And I for sure know that Ghost of Tsushima was made that way originally as well. It was originally made in English. And I liked the English voice actor more in Ghost of Tsushima. That is not the case for Ghost of Yote. That is just my opinion. But I'm asking the question, why isn't Konatsu Kato from Silent Hill F not even in the discussion? Again, they clearly know about the game because the game is up for nominations in other categories. Why is it not up for it in this one? Okay, because honestly, she does a great job, Konatsu Kato. Again, this is from what I've seen. She's done some great voice acting in the game. Again, that's just my opinion. That is debatable, but I do think it's a little weird that there's not this good representation of Eastern voice actors. That's just my opinion, though. Again, we're moving on to the best game adaptation section. The Last of Us Season 2. What in the fuck are we doing? Honestly, we got Chopped of Us Season 2, okay? They fucked up so much with this game adaptation, and they still get the nomination. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. Secret Levels up here. We have several others that deservedly are here, and I love them, right? Devil May Cry, I believe, is up here, but I don't think Cyberpunk is. And if Cyberpunk's not, again, I need to double check. If Cyberpunk's not, and The Last of Us Season 2 is up for nomination for being the best game adaptation, that is insane. It is insane. And whoever made this shortlist should be fired immediately. You should be, because there's no shot you're in this space and you're arguing this. Okay. Moving to the next section, best gaming hardware. Okay. And my problem with this section is what even is this section? Okay. Because we have the Nintendo Switch 2. We have the Nintendo Switch 2 Pro controller. I believe somebody's been paid off by Nintendo to put a lot of Nintendo products on this list. That's all I'm going to say. There's a SSD from Western Digital on the list. What the fuck? Elgato. There's an Elgato face cam. That's actually pretty sick. But like, why is there an Elgato face cam on the same list that there's the Nintendo Switch 2? There's a Razer Blade 16, which I'm pretty sure is the Razer Blade laptop that they're talking about. And there's an AMD Ryzen CPU, the 999X3D, which, as you may know, is the, like, I think it's the highest gaming power CPU on the market right now. But everybody else, but like the most used 3D architectured CPU, I believe, is the 78X3D. And I believe the new most used is the 9800X3D. Again, the Ryzen 7 of that lineup. But I just don't even know what this section is even supposed to be about. How is a SSD going to contend with a Nintendo Switch 2 for best gaming hardware? Are gamers really gonna vote for the SSD over the Nintendo Switch 2? Like, it's like you put certain items on the list in the hardware section just to make the Razer Blade, the Nintendo Switch look better. Okay. And to be frank, I voted for the AMD CPU because AMD has been killing it in the CPU section this year. Okay. And I want to make it known right now, what the fuck is this section even supposed to be on about? Is it PC accessories like a keyboard, like a mouse, like a face cam? Is it PC parts like an SSD, like a CPU? Or is it like gaming consoles like Nintendo Switch 2? Or is it just gaming laptops like a Razer Blade 16? Like, what are we even doing here? What even is this section? Again, why have these nominations if you don't even know what you're doing at the nomination board? Like, who made these nominations? Again, some of these nominations are good, but many of them have you questioning who's even writing the nominations. And again, the big fuck ups is Expedition 33 not being up for Game of the Year, even though it's up for 6 nominations. I mean, that's crazy. Anyway, y'all, I hope y'all have a great day as always. And as always, for real this time, junk it out.